Earl Grey tea hot.
See, this is the problem. Every week I go to the trouble of replicating a big breakfast for us, and then as soon as I can read your mind, I find out that all you want the whole time is Earl Grey tea, coffee, and croissant.
See, this is why Pulaski is better than you.
It's a beautiful morning with the Barbershop Duet.
Hi, I'm Marcus Klinger with Klinger Vocal Studio.
And I'm Sarah Vincent with Sarah Vincent Virtual Pilates.
But on Wednesdays and Saturdays,
we are the Barbershop Duet.
Hey, y'all come on in. Thank you for finding our little barbershop. If you happen to be here during one of the live premieres on YouTube, why? Come on in the live chat. Meet the Whiff Pack. Cool group of friends hanging out from all over the world. Matthew's in there. They'd love to meet you too.
They would. And for our mention today, we would like to talk about some new releases coming from MacDuff's Soap Company.
Y'all, they were just announced and the artwork is fire. Check them out. The first one is Sea to Sky with scent notes of marine air, a citrus blend, florals, chili pepper, sea salt, cypress, cedarwood, and sandalwood.
And we have Oil Country, which is orange, cardamom, charredwood, cedarwood, sandalwood, and black pepper.
No note of oil in there. I think it's an homage to a hockey team, I have heard tell. And what is our soap today?
We have Rutherford House, y'all. Let's meet it.
All right, y'all, from the sales page at MacDuffSoapCompany.com, we have a Rutherford House.
Built in 1911, Rutherford House was the home of Alberta's first premier, overlooking the young campus of the University of Alberta. It was a place for books, conversation, and the steady ritual of afternoon tea. Bright bergamot sits over bold black tea leaves, giving the fragrance its citrus lift and a dry, tannic character. Violet leaf adds a green edge, while cedarwood, labdanum, and tobacco leaves bring the subtle warmth of wood shelves, paper, and worn leather chairs. This is a proper Earl Grey, strong and fragrant.
Well, y'all, fire up the replicators. We are in for a treat today. Let's unbox it. All right, y'all, this is the last one in our box from Gareth at the Shave Supply. And look at that label. You gotta love those colors. And MacDuff has quite an ascot, doesn't he? All right, y'all, we are plotting a course for delight today, and let's make it so when we have our first impression. And if these references are a little vague to you, it's okay. It means you're not a nerd. Sean and I are both incredible Star Trek The Next Generation fans, and she is wearing the uniform of the iconic Jean-Luc Picard. I used to fit this in high school, and I tried it on the other day, and it looked like an ascot. Speaking of ascots.
Time for some afternoon tea,
Take it
I
in,
think.
See what you get. I actually started drinking Earl Grey tea when I started watching The Next Generation. I was that big a fan. I didn't actually enjoy it as much as I did my cinnamon teas and those kind of things.
Yeah.
But I learned to love it because of Jean-Luc Picard. All right, take it in, see what you get.
Oh, it is wonderful.
Yeah?
So, how much we love how Sean does his ways with gourmands and herbs and spices.
Right.
This has the MacDuff's thumbprint on it, but it is Earl Grey in the most turned up, bougie, fresh way. Like, I feel like these are the freshest tea leaves I've ever taken a whiff of, y'all. This really makes my brain want to figure out exactly what are the tea leaves that make up Earl Grey, because I'm not just getting one scent note. You know, like when you have a tea bag that's sat around for a long time, you take a whiff, it's all one scent note? This isn't that. This is like the actual tea leaves and the little thing that they drape into the water. You can tell there's a lot more going on in here.
I didn't even realize bergamot was a citrus at the beginning. I thought it was like part of tea leaves because that was the only place I ever read it was on my Earl Grey boxes.
Right. I really like that the label itself has a bunch of colors because I'm seeing that. I mean, you read gray and you think it's just going to be kind of that one tone. Right. It's not. There's a lot more going on. It does start with the bergamot bright thing. Then it goes a little more of like a green herb of some sort. I don't know exactly what. And then it kind of goes, instead of getting sweet, it kind of just has like a little cloudiness that hits in. So I think that's the gray side of the herbiness, maybe. Maybe it's even the steam coming off of your mug, but it really has a wonderful way of just making it have like a full body scent going on.
And maybe it is because of the name, but is there anything better than a hot cup of Earl Grey tea on a cloudy, foggy autumn morning? I tell you.
I have to say, the sun is up for me. Like, it is afternoon. I don't know exactly how, but there are parts of this whiff that I feel like it's not evening. It really is an afternoon kind of vibe somehow. There's something more in the spices. I don't think it's cinnamon. It could be a ginger. It's something in that kind of a lane, like it's something warm going on. And then there is a pretty airy kind of floral, but masculine thing that kind of comes in there. There is no cream in this coffee. I don't get anything lactonic. I do have to say I'm really getting just the vibe of the tea itself as the main whiff. And I feel like I can't take a big enough whiff because there's a lot going on that's bouncing off of the tea. And I almost think there's like woods in there. Like there's something taking me to the actual Rutherford house itself too.
Well, no milk in there. We just lost all of our English viewers.
Sorry.
There was a small dining room off of the main chow hall at St. Mary's College in Moraga where the dean's list students would eat, and they actually ate on glass plates and metal silverware, and nobody clapped when they dropped anything.
Okay, so I think where the sweeter spices that I was looking for in the tea, that may actually be more of the tobacco. So they're adding like that comforting, cozy kind of charm, but it's the sweeter side of the tobacco, at least to me, how my whiff is catching on, where I would definitely wear this. Sometimes tobacco can go a lot drier and a little more deeper herby, like a little more masculine. To me, this has a little bit more of the sweeter kind of tan amber hues going on.
I could totally see Captain Picard sneaking a cigarette every once in a while. Am I right, Sean?
I really like having the Earl Grey be the focus, the backbone of this, because we have some that have tea in it, but they're usually blended with other stuff. It's not just Earl Grey on its own. Like we have one that's more of a green tea, a matcha, but some of the other ones will just list tea leaves and they don't really say what it is. I like that this is the backbone of this scent, but because there's other stuff swimming around it with the tobacco and the woods, and I think even the violet leaf I might have read, it really makes it more crowd pleasing and palatable. So even if you're not the giantest fan of tea, I think the way that it's getting a hug by everything else, it's super enjoyable, and I do think you'd have a good time with it.
What percentage is Earl Grey and what percentage is the rest of the stuff around it?
I would say it's about 50 to 60% of the tea. I know what I'm looking for, so I can find it. I think if other people didn't, they would kind of find a backdoor entrance following the woods and the other stuff around it that would then bring you to the tea. But I get the tea first and then the other stuff around it. So I'm curious what you'll get. But at least for people that don't know the Earl Grey itself, I think they would still get nice herby spices more than anything. I did just shave with Summer Cabin the other day, and that was our first one from MacDuff's because now it's officially summer. And I'd been waiting when to use it. Sometimes I'll lean more towards Market Days because it has a little more of a lemony kind of summery vibe, but there is something about Summer Cabin and like the raw realness of like the outdoors and the real herbs and things around you. I think it's the lemongrass. There's something, and it's fun to see out of all of the soaps that we've had since then, like it really does still have Sean's thumbprint on it, and it's familiar to me here, which I really enjoy.
I took Summer Cabin up to her summer cabin in Red Bluff last time we went, and it really did smell exactly like the outdoors of that cabin with all the beautiful herbs, grasses, and florals going on. There's something beautifully dry to it. Well, back to our regularly scheduled soap.
But actually, the dryness here of the drier tea leaves, somehow, this is kind of like a different season and a total different spin, but similar characteristics and kind of turned up qualities in ways that you aren't expecting, but you kind of should if you know Sean. Ready?
I'm breaking into
afternoon tea for you.
All right, here we go. Taking it in.
See if you think of Picard.
Oh, you're right. Only about 50% Earl Grey. Oh, it's a fabulous spine, to be sure. But this gives it more of a fresh outdoor vibe. I'm not on a cloudy autumn morning. I'm on like a bright summer afternoon. With this, this is wild. I even got a little bit of the florals and the greens first. No real tobacco yet on that first hit off the tub. Those are kind of hiding more among the bottom notes, I think. Hold on, let me check this out. Now, if you have smelled NYC Odyssey from Sean, that is the quintessential New York public library scent. I absolutely love it. But I would totally call this a library scent, just done with very different scent notes in a very different way. This is a more academic library. I am getting the sense of tea, but I'm getting the sense of desks and books on shelves and ancient wood that makes up the walls, and some kind of way that he's presenting the scent of tradition in this, but also something new and optimistic, reminding you that every year at the University of Alberta, you are getting a new crop of fresh young minds to take on the Rutherford House dining room. Ooh, hold on a second. Okay, the citrus hits me next. Taking the bergamot that's usually in Earl Grey tea and bursting it open a little bit more, making it a little bit more prominent and a little bit more explorable by the nose. And it's mild and gentle and lovely. That's the second phase. And then a little something greeny and floral, but again, turned down to maybe 10, 15%, just to remind you that there might be some beautiful landscaping surrounding this Rutherford house, some florals, some green leaves. Ooh. And I am getting the tobacco, but in a very specific way. It's almost like this room 50 years ago used to allow cigars, but it does no longer, but you can still somehow get a sense of it from the books, from the shelves. That. Very light under the surface, but it's there, the spice of the tobacco leaf. And y'all, not any kind of a sense of that Lipton brisk tea that we get at Costco every once in a while. This is a very bougie kind of tea, the kind that you have that special little metal ball that you dip it in the water with, and the water has to be boiling hot when you do it. That's this. And I was going to say that maybe this would be a Mad Tea Party kind of scent, but it doesn't go sweet enough. It doesn't go whimsical. Yeah. It goes studious. That's the thing about this. There's nothing overtly sweet to it. There's nothing too dry about it. It doesn't go grassy or herby, but it sits right there in the Goldilocks zone. So if you are not a gourmand fan, this is the exact kind of sweetness you would want out of a tea scent.
It's more the natural sweets in there. Nothing was added to make it sweeter.
Right.
No sugar in the tea.
No sugar, no milk. I'm sorry, Brits. In fact, this is one powdery note away from, I would say, being like a university barbershop kind of a thing. That's the kind of dapper nature this has got going on. This indeed has a big ascot. No, that's a big ascot. This is a big ascot. And I love that there is a sense of wood in this from the furniture, from the bookshelves.
I almost had a hard time finding the woods because the natural side of the woods meeting the natural side of the leaves, the tea leaves, like somehow they almost just seem like they were just being normal together. And
that violet leaf almost goes a little tiny bit minty, even in the middle of this, adding to the charm of the tea.
I think that's why it doesn't go completely green, but you know it's in there kind of hidden, and that's part of it.
And I think you're right. The windows of this room in the Rutherford house are open, and there's a fabulous spring-summer breeze that's wafting through it all.
It has a little bit of a transportive vibe for me. Like, I do feel like I'm somewhere new because I haven't really gone to a tea house or something that smells like this, but there is something turned up and dapper that I feel like it's a fun adventure kind of thing. Like, you'd pick when you want to use this one.
I feel smarter just smelling this.
There you go.
And the more I whiff, the more that delicate little floral is making itself apparent, not dried among the tea leaves, but like growing outside. And that's what I love about MacDuff's. He's the best in the business when it comes to taking nature and putting that scent in a tub of soap. Unmatched.
I think that's how, even if you just put a tub under our nose, right away, we do kind of know. No, hold on. This is a MacDuff's scent.
All right, y'all, well, come along with us. We're going to take another look at these scent notes and build your lather. Y'all, back to the sales page at MacDuffSoapCompany.com. This opens with
bergamot and black tea leaves.
Now, y'all, when I read Earl Grey on the sales page, I really thought this was going to go heavy into the black tea side of things, and I bring you glad tidings of great joy. It doesn't. This is about the bergamot and the fabulous role that citrus plays inside of the Earl Grey tea. It's like Earl Grey tea inverted, and it's a gentle citrus to be sure. But for me, this is way more about the bergamot than those black tea leaves.
I think it's also nice because it's almost like the bright citrus side next to the deeper sides of the black tea.
Right.
Somehow it's what's happening between the two that really pulls me into the rest of these scent notes with violet leaf, atlas, cedar, and labdanum.
And the violet leaf is why I would almost perceive this as like an academic barbershop, just very naturally, subtly sweet under the surface, adding its character the same way it does into like a barber powder.
I think violet leaf for me is almost what's adding a little more of a color, a little more intrigue. Like there's something about it that turns up the quality. It adds because it is a leaf along with these other leaves in here, but there's some kind of vibrancy that the violet side is bringing through too.
Now we do have some Atlas cedarwood from Perfumer's Apprentice in our Perfumer's Organ, a fabulous and sort of unexpected presentation of the cedarwood, a little bit darker than I would have thought it would be. So I bet that's bonding with what we're going to read in a minute, the tobacco leaf, but we'll get back to that. Labdanum, how are you getting that fabulous sense in there?
This is the part that keeps it clean, but also adds a little more aging to it somehow. I don't know how it does that, but it's kind of like the best of both worlds.
That meeting with the cedar is what's giving me a sense of parchment, almost, in their ancient paper.
But it's even the woods that are in here, it's really well taken care of, if that makes sense. I think that's what's adding, like, yes, this might be an old building from 1911, but the point of the Rutherford house is that it's still very well maintained and taken care of, and you can smell that.
And then tobacco leaf and soft musk. The tobacco leaf is probably the least prominent scent note in here for me, but I can tell what job it's doing. All of those other scent notes are sitting on a foundation of those spices from like a cured but unrolled tobacco leaf in a tobacconist shop.
I think it also just makes it a lot more wearable. Does that make sense? So it's not just a place, it's almost you in that location. I think that soft musk and the tobacco leaf somehow help with that concept.
And it's not a civet musk, but it's more of a soft, clean, laundry, cottony musk for me. And I think that's what's keeping that sense of newness to the Rutherford house idea. For me, the walls are old, but the carpet has been freshly replaced. That kind of thing. I
also feel like that's where there's a little dapperness. Like there's just something put into the thought in your outfit. There's a little bit more of that fresh pressed laundry kind of a thing.
And this is my AKA brush and bowl turned live on Instagram by Amelia and Gardner. Are those not beautiful matchy pieces of hardware? This was an homage to 2 pairs of Converse that I couldn't decide between on a shopping trip with my mom back in the 80s. And she was just like, get them both. One pair was magenta, one pair was teal because it was the mid 80s. But they even got a little bit more of that Converse seal in there with the red, the blue, the silver of the grommets. Amazing work at AKA Brushworks. And our bougie sticks from Amazon.com are going to take to this usually very soft soap. Oh, there's a tiny bit of a bite back. Usually this is as soft as the butter on our counter, but there's a little bit more firmness to this batch. This is in the V5 base, released about 1.5 years ago by MacDuff's. And a little warm Canadian summer rain here to just moisten the soap. Now, we're going to let most of that water hang out there at the bottom of the bowl. I'm going to put maybe 1.5 tablespoons, maybe 2 tablespoons worth of water in here, and just delicately moisten the tips of my bristles, and then go for the soap. Now, my first goal is just to draw the soap up onto the bristles. I don't like to start with giant bubbles because sometimes it's hard to go back again. So I almost like to start by building like a paste with the lather and then start adding water and air and build it out from there. I think it stays a little bit thicker for me. And about every 30 seconds, turn your brush. Give those bristles a new orientation to grab at that soap. We are the only show on YouTube to suggest turning your brush, except for all the others. And you know what I love about this? This definitely has a sense of tradition and age to it, but nothing goes danky or pokey in order to do that.
Right.
Interesting.
That does seem actually hard to pull off, but somehow it's happening.
It's a very smart scent. I went to a very rough elementary school. The school newspaper had an obituary column. Oh, you know what's funny?
Yeah?
Of course. As I add water and as I add a little bit of air to this, the black tea leaves are now starting to really balance out with the bergamot. I'm getting way more black tea now in this.
Well, you know, like when you got to steep your tea, maybe there's something with like add a little water, the magic really comes through.
And this is something you will only find on the Barbershop Duet. This is the NCC 1701D with on 3, 1, 2. Oh, wow. See, now the black tea is almost overpowering the bergamot in this for me. Smell that. See if you agree. Oh, yeah, this is about the citrus. That's about the tea.
I get more of like the tobacco leaf, I think, in this one, and a little less here. So I think it's the black leaves for me are coming out to kind of take over that part. It's not that it's not as sweet. It's just like the spices kind of shifted a little bit where the herbs and stuff are at.
Are there any Next Generation fans out there? Was there ever like an episode where anyone on that show was shaving? I remember going to a Star Trek convention back in the early I know. And LeVar Burton was there, and he was talking about those few episodes where he grew a beard on the show. Do you know why he did that? He was getting married, and he wanted to have a beard in his wedding photographs. So he told the producers of the show his idea, and they're like, we're just going to write you in to have a beard for a few episodes. It's fine. Is that not cool?
Aww.
And the guest stars on that show? Can we talk for a second? That was the greatest lineup of guest stars ever. They even got James Doohan on there somehow.
I know we always stay. We're going to start from the beginning so I can watch them all again with you, but I really think we actually finally need to do that.
Yeah. That HD restoration of those Next Generation episodes is phenomenal. They even had to go back and redo all of the special effects for HD, but they did. That show was worth it. And y'all, the official pastor of the Barbershop Duet, Larry Shaves, is probably in our chat today, and we love watching his shaving videos, but we don't do shaving here on the Barbershop Duet, so we thought you might like to see how this lather coats and covers a moneymaker. Are you kidding me with this? It's a relief map of Alberta right here on my face. You want a little bit of that in there?
Oh, I
put
do.
some under my nose. There's plenty.
Oh, it smells too good not to use. I don't want to waste this lather, man.
Oh, and I love how all of those scent notes are so prominent, but they're being presented here not at the end of a pokey stick, but as a big ol' hug from Mother Nature herself. This is awesome.
This really is one of those ones I can't get a big enough whiff of.
Right.
Like, there's just a lot going on in here, and I just want to keep taking more whiffs. It kind of really is like when you have a mug in front of you. Sometimes you just want to stall drinking it and enjoy taking whiffs of it. So that's what it's doing.
And in a lovely, gentle scent intensity of about a 2.5 right there in the middle.
It has an airiness to it.
Yes.
Like, I don't know how that's even possible. Like, we keep saying an open window, but if you do have, like, tea steeping in front of you, there is just, like, kind of a little more movement in the air. You smell it happening.
All right, y'all. We're going to see if Rutherford House has a basement. Take this down just a little bit deeper. I completely lost the housing luck lottery at St. Mary's College because my very first dorm room shared a wall with Brother Mel Anderson, the president of the college. You never lived in the dorms in college, did you? You had apartments from the beginning, right?
Well, they were kind of considered off-campus dorms. Our campus didn't have enough dorms. They were in the process of building them when I was there. So we were living like an off-grid apartment complex that was built to be for college students. So it had like a single room with a bathroom, and then I had a separate 2 single rooms with a bathroom. That was like the community bathroom with a kitchen and that stuff. So yeah, I guess I kind of got spoiled. We still had RAs, so each of our buildings had someone that was like kind of on guard at night watching your apartment little complex. It had like 8 units per one. So we had one pool that you could share with everyone, and then we had a giant like mess hall thing where food was still included. So kind of had a cafeteria thing. It was pretty cool. I didn't realize that at the time, but people would see like, oh, you live at University Village? And I was like, yeah. And it was like a big deal.
I loved my dorm until I was showering and somebody came in to use the bathroom.
Oh.
I was not down with that. But I did bring my insulated mug of Earl Grey tea and occasionally that Good Earth cinnamon spice tea. If you know, put it in the comments, to class almost every day. It smelled amazing. Oh, I'm back to more of a stronger bergamot scent on the dry down now that I've wiped that lather off my face. Oh, that bergamot is just the star of this for me.
There's something with like the herbiness of this for me that really scratches that same itch of almost like a bay rum. It's not, but there's something that the spices and the coziness and the warmth that comes through that it is kind of why I think I would reach for it more often than I was expecting. Like how you can reach for a bay rum anytime you want. It kind of has that similar lane for me somehow.
Right. So it's pretty simple, y'all. Just be Marcus as a freshman at St. Mary's College, wondering what books they're going to assign in his very first seminar class. And they're going to lead off with the Odyssey, the epic poem that inspired Christopher Nolan's latest movie. And you're going to be all excited about the books to come. But just about the time they hand you Herodotus as your second book, you are going to get your own. So head over to MacDuff'sSoapCompany.com to find this and a bunch of other cool stuff. Well, I've had my shave, y'all, with Rutherford House, and I always love shaving with MacDuff's bases because of how padded and comfortable and protected they make me feel during the shave itself. And I was talking to Sean after we shot this episode. He said it was my attempt at doing Earl Grey without it going too sweet. And I was like, well, you nailed that. We actually mentioned that during the episode. But what I love about this, it's only about 65-70% the tea itself. The rest is the Rutherford House, the wood on the walls, the books on the shelves, the leather, the tobacco, essence from students long past. I love how this whisks me away to somewhere new and adventurous with a beautiful cup of Earl Grey tea hot in front of me. Thank you, Sean. We'll be back soon for your new ones. Hey, welcome to Messages.
So for our August giveaway, we wanted to give you a chance to get $25 to Adopted Acres.
That's right, y'all. You might even be able to pick up the new Halloween soap that Doug Lane and I are working on together. I submitted the brief a couple of days ago. All you have to do is send an email to WeSentYou@theBarbershopDuet.com to be considered for this giveaway. It's the only way we communicate about our giveaways here on the Barbershop Duet. And then check back on our first September episode to see if you are our lucky winner.
Best of luck.
How is it that this smells completely different than any other MacDuff soap that we have, and yet, the moment I smell it, I know that this is a Sean Armitage soap? How does he do that?
I don't know. Somehow, it is true. Every time we take a whiff, we're like, how does he do it? And he does it every single time. It makes you feel like you've actually been to Edmonton to like visit, because somehow they all take us to those destinations, which I thoroughly enjoy.
And if this really is what Earl Grey could smell like in the 24th century, then I need to start working on cold fusion and inventing that replicator pretty freaking quick, because I want to try it.
Don't forget your next appointment with the Barbershop Duet.
You'll smell better just watching this.